Well, ladies and gentlemen. Well. So it's confirmed. It's confirmed that the civil war is legit. And for all the people that were thinking, no, this is just another one of those cases where international break is on and journalists are going out there and creating news, I don't think so, ladies and gentlemen. It is a proper civil war. It is a proper war between Todd Boehly and Baghdad Iqbali, Clearlake capital. The relationship looks like is completely broken, absolutely completely broken. And once again, as majority of you guys will agree, and I know I definitely agree with this is not a surprise. Both of these individuals, Todd Boehly, Baghdad Iqbali, who is leading the Clearlake capital side of things, who are the majority shareholders, it is not a surprise that their visions are not aligned. They're not coming together to progress Chelsea Football Club in one direction. They both see different paths, and this way cannot continue. One thing's for certainty: either Baghdad Iqbali will need to buy out Todd Boehly shares, or Todd Boehly will need to buy out the entirety of that majority stakeholdership by Clearlake. Someone's got to do something because this simply cannot move forward like this. That is 100% confirmed right now. Chelsea's ownership has collapsed. It has collapsed. And this is why we see all of these struggles, all of these mistakes that we've been making over the past 2 seasons, which is carried on this season as well. Supposedly we're trying to rectify this season's situation, but we've seen it in the transfer window that there was chaotic, erratic behaviors of how we were dealing with certain transfers. Samuel Omar was one of those major ones, and there were a few other ones as well where they were questionable. Omari Kellyman being one of the 19 million for a youngster from Aston Villa, Keenan Dewsbury Hall from Leicester. So clearly there is an issue. Todd Boehly there was reports yesterday that apparently from Todd Boehly's side of things, he's concerned about the recruitment policy, the underperformance, and how Chelsea's doing on field, and the lack of movement in stadium redevelopment plans, which is halted. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a made-up story. People out there who consistently want to be positive just for the sake of being positive, please, for a second, understand that the issues at Chelsea, the lack of performances, the lack of clarity, the constant chopping and changing of players and managers, it stems from above because things upstairs are not aligned. They are looking at opposite directions and not 100% aligned. So, as I said, we're going to go through a whole heap of news that has dropped over the last 24 hours. Lots to unpack, ladies and gentlemen. But one thing is clear. One party needs to buy the other party out now, whether that's Todd Boehly, whether that's Iqbali, whoever it is. We cannot continue in this same structure. I'll give you my opinion as to who I want it to be. Let me know in the comment section who you guys want it to be. Let's go through the news. Smash up the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Let's get on with it. Breaking: Chelsea take risk of civil war. Chelsea at risk of civil war. Boehly believes his situation with Clearlake is untenable. This is coming from Matt Law. This guy, when it comes to, this isn't an opinion piece. This is information that's been fed to Matt Law by a representative at Chelsea. And once again, this is not too far-fetched at all. You can see the directions of both these people have been very much different. Look at the way Todd Boehly was running the show in the first season, and look at the way Clearlake has been running the show under Iqbali for the past 12, 13, 14 months or so. So understandable that there is a clash in direction. Major breaking: Boehly believes he can quickly raise over 2.5 billion to make an offer to Clearlake that would also give Chelsea's majority shareholder a profit on their initial investments. Investors are said to be ready to back Boehly, who is believed to have a 20 to 30 year vision in Chelsea, which would include a new stadium. Look, I was talking about this in the live stream earlier today. If you've missed out on that, do check that out. I covered a lot of comments from the live stream in the live chat, what Chelsea fans had to say. So do check that out, which was earlier this morning UK time. And I did say that Boehly, don't underestimate Boehly just because he's a minority shareholder. This brother, he's got connections all over the world. You know, one of the key connections I believe he has is with the Saudis. And I'm pretty sure he's got other connections as well all over Middle East and the rest of the world. Don't underestimate that he can't come up with 2.5 billion raised by other people to go and take over Clearlake. People think, Miz, this is not going to happen. Clearlake's got 60%, 61%. There's no way they're going to sell. It's not about no way. Sure, they're a majority stakeholder, and sure, they can say, no, we believe in the Chelsea project. We believe there's money to be made. Ultimately, it all comes down to, is there money to be made? Money talks. If you show Clearlake enough money to give an exit strategy, they'll take it. These are business people. They're not emotionally attached to the club. They all have an exit strategy. They're not here forever. If you give Clearlake Capital a proposition that here's your money, 2.5 billion, which is what was paid to buy Chelsea Football Club. Ultimately, the total package was something around 4.2 billion pounds, but that includes, transfer budget and, clearing out some debts that, that was owed to Roman, which didn't go to Roman. It went to the UK government. The 2.5 billion, if you raise it, I think Clearlake Capital might end up taking that, unless they believe, no, Chelsea Football Club is worth maybe 4 billion now. You got to give me 4 billion and then you can buy me out. But 2.5 billion, that is more than what Clearlake Capital invested initially. And this is, once again, not far-fetched at all. It is believable that this can be done. Todd Boehly could raise 2.5 billion from other investors, which, yes, comes down to the point is we're going to go from one consortium to another consortium. Why? We rather just have Clearlake Capital just take over Todd Boehly, and that way we just have the one owner. I just feel like Clearlake Capital, then their intentions are not in the right place to drive Chelsea forward. I feel Todd Boehly probably has that intention to bring Chelsea Football Club back to the top. And I personally think if he gets Middle Eastern backing, i.e. Saudi money or even Qatari money, I don't know, then perhaps, we can get back to how things once used to be. Because at the end of the day, I feel like Middle Eastern owners especially, they are more concerned about winning trophies. They're not too worried about the money side of things. And look, money is probably not the huge issue with Chelsea Football Club. It's about making sure we fall within the financial fair play rules and regulations, which honestly, I still think we can. We don't need to go down this path of what Iqbal is doing, is predominantly buying young players and using them as commodity to potentially get some profit out of them down the track. That is one of the key ways of, building a new revenue stream. I just don't think we need to buy so many players every transfer window. We just need to focus on a couple of key players, keep the crux of the team, and invest smartly on quality players to then get us back into competing at the highest level. I just don't think we need to go in there and do a whole heap of madness that we're doing in recent times. And also the chopping and changing of managers, chopping and changing of so many personnels in the background on a regular basis. We need some level of, consistency, some level of stability, which we haven't had under this new ownership. Todd Boehly has reservations about the recruitment strategy at the club and the failure to make progress on redeveloping Stamford Bridge. And that's a huge issue. Third season in, and we still haven't done anything about the stadium. This was one of the biggest concerns, one of the biggest, checklist item that the new owners, when they took over Chelsea, was to build a new stadium. And third season in, we still don't have any plans around it. It's a failure. It definitely is a failure. It's not an easy task because the Chelsea pitch owners are making it difficult. However, there needs to be progress in that department, and there simply hasn't been. And I think, Todd Boehly is quite frustrated about that. And it's been mentioned that the recruitment strategy as well, we've seen it. the recruitment strategy, buying Mark Gui, for example. What's the need for that? Omari Kellyman, what was the need for that? Omari Hutchinson, Chasere Cassidy, David Datra Fofana, Angelo Gabriel. The list goes on and on and on. Even some of the players that we rate a lot, someone like me, I like João Felix a lot. Was it necessary? Wasn't it more necessary to go for a striker? Jadon Sanchez, someone I absolutely admire, I like a lot. Wasn't necessary. And we can pinpoint about most of these recruitments that we've done in recent times and go, is this the right way to assemble a squad to compete at the highest level? So Todd Boehly, I understand the frustration. Todd Boehly is prepared to raise over £2.5 billion in order to get full control of the club. That would mean a club valuation of close to $4 billion, close to double the $2.3 billion Clearlake paid. Boehly paid for it. This is coming from Clearlake, and Boehly paid for it. Ben Jacobs. So, as I said, if you put a good, solid value proposition for Clearlake, they'll look to entertain that, because no business people are there to be in a business forever. Unless if Clearlake believe that 2.5 billion is not enough, they need way more than that. They value Chelsea way more than that. Ultimately, the bottom line is, just because they've got 60% shareholdership doesn't mean money can't talk. Money can do literally anything and buy them over. Todd Boehly hired architect Janet Marie Smith to lead on Chelsea's stadium plans, but now the club have decided to use other experts and companies such as Populous, who were behind the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And look, this is another clash. Todd Boehly is thinking about this individual. Clearlake are hiring and firing other individuals to look after the stadium. I believe recently the CEO, Chris Jurassic, one of his remit was to let's start getting a bit of progress in regards to stadium redevelopment plans or relocation plans, whatever the case is. He's now moved on, and this other brother has come in, Jason Gannon, I believe. So they all seem to have different ideas and different connections, different people they want to bring into the football club, and it's not going to operate this way. This mess cannot be operated in this manner, where owners are thinking in different sense, are thinking about different personnel. They can't even agree on who to bring in. There is no anonymous, there isn't any, complete 100% cohesion as to which personnel to bring to Chelsea Football Club. All right, let's have a look at the next news. Clearlake recognizes mistakes have been made at Chelsea and results and performances need to improve. They would argue Chelsea are back on the right path to challenge for trophies. So look, Clearlake and, led by Iqbali and Jose Feliciano, they could literally stand there and go, Todd, no, we're not selling our shares. In fact, we want to take your shares and get you out of here. So that could be a potential, scenario as well. 100% it will be one of the scenarios. As I said, either way, all of these owners cannot work together. Either Iqbali needs to buy out Boehly, or Boehly needs to buy out Iqbali. And as this is a possibility. Clearlake could turn around and say, no, we've now sorted Chelsea out, and we fully believe we can take the club forward and potentially make the club be worth a lot more than what may be being offered to them, or supposedly out there is 2.5 billion. They could think that no, Chelsea Football Club could be valued at 4.5 billion or 6 billion or 8 billion. And that's the stake that they might want if you want to buy them out. So it's a tussle. It's an absolute tussle. Todd Boehly is committed to Chelsea, but he's not in control. He has his own ideas about how Chelsea should be run, but he can never be the ultimate decision maker when someone else owns 61.5%. Iqbali and Clearlake would be interested in buying his shares. There you go. So yeah, he's minority shareholder. He's never going to be able to just run the show by himself. Baghdad Iqbali and Clearlake are not going anywhere and are not interested in selling. So this could potentially be one of those standoffs where they'll say, no, we don't want your 2.5 billion. We're staying here. You get out of here, and we want to buy you out. Let us know what your price is. So It all needs. It'll be interesting to see exactly where Iqbali and Clearlake Capital sit now, because they've been pushed to make a decision here. They're majority shareholders. Do you let go and see a proper proposition from Todd Boehly, a proposal from Todd Boehly, or do you get upset about this whole situation and go, do you know what, Todd? No, we're going to buy you over. So something has to happen. Clearlake appears to be totally committed to Chelsea. Iqbali has been at all league games this season, and he was closely involved with the recruitment strategy. So they may believe that they've got a golden situation with Chelsea Football Club where they think that they can make this football club be worth a lot more money and potentially compete at the highest level. Me personally, I think their heart is more about increasing the value of Chelsea Football Club. I don't necessarily think they're really there to win Premier League trophies, get back into Champions League, win Champions League trophies. I don't think they're there, because if that was the case, the recruitment would not be the way we've been doing. The wage structure, this, that. Look, the wage structure is fine, but you've got to still have the ability to go beyond your wage structure for certain players to bring them in at Chelsea Football Club. These guys have made us believe that no one's worth more than 150k anymore in the market. There will be players that you want and that are of high quality who can impact the team immediately. You will have to pay more than 150,000. They're not going to come for cheap money. That's the bottom line. Todd Boehly and Baghdad Iqbali have their own ideas about how Chelsea should be run. It is now clear that Boehly has reservations about the club's recruitment strategy and the failure to make progress on redeveloping Stamford Bridge. This time's coming from Sky Cave. All major decisions have to be signed off by Iqbali, Feliciano, and Boehly, which possibly explains why there has been no significant progress on the plans for Chelsea Stamford Bridge Stadium. Too many cooks, too many opinions, and not enough decisions. Not enough cohesive decisions. Not enough unanimous decisions. So it's a problem. Investors are said to be ready to back Todd Boehly, who is believed to have 20 to 30-year vision in Chelsea, which would include a new stadium, but an offer, however big, could fall on deaf ears if Clearlake maintain their not for sale stance. So right now the stance is they're not selling. As I said, money talks. You throw enough money, Clearlake will look at it as an exit strategy. But this is what I like about Todd Boehly, 20 to 30-year vision. This guy, look, the bottom line with Todd Boehly, I feel that he's far more in tune with the fans. He far more wants to see how the fans are feeling. Where do we want to see the club going towards? What type of football manager, so on and so forth, that we should be looking at. He's the one, as I said, Thomas Tuchel. He wanted to back Thomas Tuchel, and he was backing Thomas Tuchel. It was Iqbali that pulled the trigger on Thomas Tuchel because he wanted day-to-day updates from Thomas Tuchel, and Thomas Tuchel was not keen to do that. And it was Boehly that was trying his best to mend things. Boehly, yes, some of the transfers that he's done in the first season, a lot of people can look at it and go, look, they weren't great, but they were tailor-made for Thomas Tuchel to succeed. And that was the first season. Obviously, there's going to be some issues. But I feel overall, Todd Boehly, he's far more in tune to build proper sporting organizations. He's done that in America, whether it be in baseball, whether it be in basketball. I rather him as opposed to Clearlake Capital, who are an investment hedge fund, who ultimately only think about the bottom dollar. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. Proper civil war happening at Chelsea Football Club. Comment below where you stand in the Boehly versus Iqbali situation. Do you feel this is going to be resolved? Look, one thing's for sure. This is not something that's going to be resolved very quickly. There's not a credit card transaction that can just be resolved over a week, over a day. This will take a few months now. Because to raise 2.5 billion by Boehly, and it could be more than 2.5 billion, who knows? That'll take a bit of time. You got to organize the proposal. You got to present it to Clearlake. Will Clearlake accept or not? These things will take time. However, it needs to happen ASAP because Chelsea Football Club cannot be run where owners are in a disagreement. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, take care. See ya.